Yeah, yeah, I saw that
Oh,
too.
hello,
Oh,
welcome to this episode of Fearless Aging. And our expert guest today is Nayar. She's a self realization coach. She helps her clients stay anchored in their highest frequency, which is love, peace, and abundance. From these higher states of consciousness, they remain focused and more abundant in all aspects of their life. So, we have a very special episode today. We're going to get to experience Rashi's spiritual awakening method, where she's going to take us through a process of connecting to our higher selves, our true spiritual self. And when we are truly awake to who we truly are, we become unstoppable. Because when we know we are part of the creative force of the universe, everything is possible. So, Rashi, thank you so much for being here and offering to take us through this process.
well, thank you so much for having me, Rico. Once again, it's an honor to be here.
Well, this is your show, so take it away. We're ready.
Fantastic, fantastic. So one thing that I want to, clarify is the reason that we we need the process, and what we need is to live from truth. And what's happening in the world right now is we're not living from truth, the truth of who we are. We think we're leading from truth. And that's what I thought, that I thought that I was a loving person and I was leading from love and I was leading from peace, but I wasn't. And that's a story we tell ourselves. So, what we are doing is in our lives, we're just bumping through life. We're just going through the motions. We're going on autopilot. Most of the times, we have a thought in our head and we're just following it. And we have an emotion in the body and we're just following that. And we think inherently that something is wrong with us. Not everyone thinks that. And, there's a few lucky ones who don't. But at least for myself, I can speak only for myself and for my clients that I'm working with, is that a lot of times we feel that something is inherently wrong with us. We're not leading our lives, we're not taking action from that place of wholeness, from that place of that I am complete, that we're always chasing. There's something in front of us and we're constantly going towards it. We're always striving to be happy. And there's also a movie by Will Smith that's called The Pursuit of Happiness. Even the name itself is called The Pursuit of Happiness, right? It's not like live from happiness or be happy forever. That's not what the movie is. The pursuit of happiness. And that's how we're mostly living our lives, is we're pursuing happiness. That's why we're so, and especially in the day and age we live right now, we're constantly pursuing goals. And by the way, I have no problem pursuing goals. I have goals myself. But then we get so attached to that something in the future that we suffer because of that. So the desire itself is not a problem. In the ancient texts, especially where the all ancient texts actually, regardless of what religion it is, every every text says that desire is the root cause of suffering. But actually what I have realized is that it's not the desire that's the root cause of suffering, it's the attachment to the desire that's the root cause of suffering, actually. Because we get so attached and we get so obsessed with that something in front of us that we forget to live in the present moment, that we forget that actually we are presence itself. We've been given a label human being. We're not human doing, we're human being. And we're not leading from that place of stillness and silence and quiet presence. We're leading from a pursuit of doing things. And that's what I caught myself doing. That's what I still catch myself doing sometimes, even after my spiritual awakening. So the message that whoever is hearing this is the message is that we need to go inwards and we need to live our lives from truth, from reality, not from our head, because that's what we're doing. We have something in front of us and we're chasing, chasing, chasing. We're never being. But the magic of that is when we can truly and simply just be with life as it is, moment to moment living, moment to moment. There's immense joy, there's immense pleasure. The happiness that we're seeking in the future, it's here. right now, right here in the moment. So if we can live from that space, moment to moment, I, I cannot even emphasize that enough because we're all spiritual. I mean, we've all read spiritual books, right? I think your audience also, Rico, some form of spirituality. They have read some books on positive thinking, positive intelligence, even spirituality, where everyone talks about coming back to the present moment. That's where bliss is. Actually, there's a beautiful author and a spiritual teacher named Eckhart Tolle, and he wrote his first book called The Power of Now. I never understood that book before. I got the concept, like the logically, I understood what that meant, but experientially, I never really understood what he meant until I experienced what he actually said. Is we're not someone trying to be here now. We are the now. We are presence. We are the present moment. But we don't live from that knowing. We live from a separation, like as if we're a separate self, that there's you, the other, and then there's me, the other. So there's always that separation. And it's necessary when we are growing up. There's a sense of ego or individuality that is born, a sense of identity. It's okay for a limited time, to operate from that sense of individuality until what happens is as we grow up and we become adults, we get so trapped in that sense of individuality that there's the other and then there's us. And then there's always that conflict, the conflict of opinions, conflict of belief systems, conflict of thoughts, conflict of perceptions, judgments, and all of that clouds the reality, the nature of who we truly are. So, the spiritual awakening method that I have is to bring people back to their true self, which is inherently peaceful, which is inherently present, which is inherently infinite, eternal, was never born, will never die. It's always there. We're always present. Even when the body dies, that presence is always living infinitely. And that's who we are. So I take people back to their true self and let them experience that themselves. Actually, yesterday, it's interesting that yesterday there was this, and she's not a client, she is a colleague of mine, and she wanted to experience, this method because she was really suffering. So she had experienced, abuse, and she had depression, and there was a lot of stuff that was accumulated in her consciousness. And she had been to therapists, she had worked with coaches, quantum coaches, spiritual coaches, a lot of people, but still she was suffering inside. There was still this heaviness and anxiety and depression, this gray cloud, that as she described it. And when I took her back to her true self, let her experience that, suddenly after 60 minutes or so, she was able to feel really blissful. And she said that I had never accessed these higher states of consciousness before, you know? And this is the power of just connecting back to who you are, the true self. Because when we are connected with our true self, we are naturally joyful, we are naturally blissful and ecstatic, ecstasy that we're chasing in experiences, that we're even chasing with brilliant relationships, right? We're chasing in goals that money will give us that ecstasy, experiences will give us that, even sex, relationships, all of that we're chasing outside of us. But actually, it's within us. It's so accessible, you know? And so that is my gift. That is what I want to give to people, is to come back to who they are and naturally relax in that state of awareness or that state of consciousness, that actually who we are. So this is what I want to do today, if we have time, and we do, I think. So what I want the audience to tune into right now, and Rico, if you want to do this as well, is I want to take you back to your natural state, your original nature, which is simply Let's go back to the time when you're just born, fresh out of the womb, just a baby, just a baby. Now, you're a completely blank slate. You have no belief systems, you have no thoughts, impressions, nothing. You're pure being. And the only thing that you know is that you are. That's it. You're just born. And the only thing that you know, and it's a knowing, is that you are. And the state of being that I want to invite you into is I am. Not I am this or I am that. Forget about your name for a while. Forget about who you think you are and come back to your true nature, your true self, which is I am just this. Come back. And it's almost like relaxing your attention back to the awareness. You're not focusing on something or trying to make more of it or trying to visualize anything. In fact, don't visualize anything. No light, no love, no peace, nothing. Just be as you are. The original state, I am, or I am aware. This is our true nature. And when we come back and relax as I am, notice how peaceful you already are. And if there's any thoughts or emotions that come up, just leave them out for now. Imagine that you're sitting in a temple and you're not allowed to carry any thoughts, emotions, beliefs, ideas about yourself, any perceptions or judgments. You can leave it out of the temple for a while and you can pick it up later. They're all yours anyway. You can pick it up later. But for now, just come back to this pure awareness, pure state of consciousness, just this sense of emptiness. I am. And notice how quiet and how silent your being actually is. Notice that no words can really describe who you are. And notice how infinite you are. That there is no separation between you and me talking. There's no boundary, there's no line someone has drawn. The experience and the experiencer are one. The observer is the observed. Notice that. Have a direct experience of what I'm talking about right now. There's no line between us as we're talking. It's all happening at the same time, simultaneously. You listening, me talking, you being. It's all happening at the same time. And there's no time as such. Time is a construct that we have created for our convenience. But in reality, there is no time. And come back to just this space, to your true self, I am. And notice that You're actually timeless, eternal, that you don't necessarily have an age, and that the age that you identify with is the age of the body, not of you. So, in reality, you were never born and you will never die. Who you truly are does not die. So, what is the fear? What is the fear? Why are we so afraid? What are we afraid of? When you can abide in your true self, I am, and when you can lead every single moment of your life from this space, I am, from your truth of your being, then you're free. You're free to be. Not free to be somebody, but free to be whoever or whatever you want to be. So, my question to you is, do you want to live from truth, or do you want to live from illusion, which is fear, guilt, shame, regret, resentment, anger, worry, lack? All of these are lower states of consciousness that you don't belong there. This is your home. This is who you are. So you want to live from truth, peace, or from a lie. So come back to the state of I am again. Notice how peaceful you actually are. This is your home. This is your true self. Because over here, there are no problems. You're not worried. There's no fear. You just are. So, as we prepare to come out of this experience, just gently you can rub your hands and stretch your body if you want to come out of this experience. And gently you can open your eyes. It's raining outside, it's beautiful. So, when we know who we are, then we live from that place. And when we live from that place, we stop suffering. There is no suffering. So, my invitation is to experience this for yourself. That come back to the silence base, the silence of the being, because we are that. We are emptiness and fullness at the same time. And we can believe as long as we want that we're just this ordinary human being, but we're so extraordinary, so infinite that actually the world that appears to be happening outside of us, as if there's a wall between us and the world, there is no wall. There is no wall. The observer and the observed is happening at the same time. The experiencer and the experienced is happening at the same time. That's how there is no line separation. We are one. So, do we live from that space of oneness or we live from separation? That's the choice we have to make. But as we practice coming back to ourselves, and it's more also a practice, coming back to our true self, sitting in silence with your being, morning and evening, staying as who you truly are. And then slowly something magical starts to happen is you start to merge back with the source, where you come from, the divine. You start to merge back because what's happening is the veil gets thinner and thinner. The veil, the spider web, the neurological pathway or the neural pathway, thinner and thinner and thinner. And then the dissolving happens. It's the merging with the universe, or we merge back with the source of who we are. And that experience cannot be described on a call as something we have to experience for ourselves. But that is true bliss, true ecstasy that no other experience can give us. And it's available within us right here, right now. All
Yeah,
we have to do is slow down.
slow down. Rashi, that was amazing. I'm just amazed at how well you are able to express that, and what and your gift that you have to offer people. Thank you so much for that. So
Thank you.
for people who, for our audience who maybe just got a little taste of being in that present moment, uh, how can they work with you? How can they learn more? Well, I mean, we'll put your information how they can connect with you,
Yeah.
but we just have a couple of minutes left. So just talk a little bit about how people, if they connect with you, how you help them and how they can work with you to really learn how to do this.
Yes, so they can go to my website and all information is available over there. There's also an app that I have created specifically that brings you back to this. There's a series of questions that they are there to design to help you to take you back to your true nature. So play around with that app. And then if you want to explore further of experiencing this, we can come on a one-on-one call and we can experience this. We can work together. And yeah, it's all there on my website.
Yeah, we'll definitely put that information how you can connect with you. Well, Rashi, I just really appreciate your work, and it's such a thing that's needed so much. As you mentioned earlier, everybody is so in, got caught up into this rush society of just trying to accomplish things, and they don't even really know why they're doing it or what their life's all about. So,
Yeah.
this is such important information of how we can reconnect with who we truly are, and
Mm.
like we mentioned at the very start, I mean, we are part of the creative force. And when we
Yes.
realize that and get more connected, that's why you can say you become unstoppable, right? Because
Mhm.
uh, the creative force, or God, or however we want to say that, is is unstoppable. The creative force can create whatever the creative force desires, and we have
Yeah.
that ability to create our life as we want it as well. So that's just the most important information I think that we could offer to anybody. So again,
Yes.
thank you so much. I mean,
Thank you.
that was totally amazing, Rashi. Thank you very much, and thank you for your work. And so again, I just highly recommend you connect with Rashi. She has a lot to offer you. Is your app, is that app something that somebody can just download on your
Yeah.
website?
Yes, correct.
That is so good. I
Yeah.
mean, I think this is one of our most valuable shows that we've ever produced, and I'm just totally in. and in line with what you have to offer, it's the most important thing that we could all do to create everything in our life, better health and more abundance and more love, and create
Yes.
the world that we're here to create. We're here to create a world of peace and love. So once
Yes.
again, thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much, Rico. Thank
Thank
you.
you. That was awesome.
That's great.